So I checked my screen time today. I've not, I don't particularly keep an eye on it. I don't, you know, set limits on what I should and shouldn't do and how long I want to watch stuff for. Um, yeah, you just do what you do. But when I checked it, it come up at it was 5 hours and 18 minutes average per day. So worked it out. It's roughly after sleeping, so waking day, give or take 16 hours. That's about 30% of my day I spend pretty much on my phone. And that's not always watching YouTube, watching, flicking through Facebook and things. I leave it on in the background and I listen to things as well. But I was just thinking, because it's 12 years this year since I've owned a TV, which is pretty cool. But I was thinking, I've kind of replaced the big screen for the little screen. In a way, the typical, as most of us do, finish work, you come home, automatically, bang, you put that TV on. And, if it's about tea time, there's usually the local news and then the national news, and you maybe watch that. And then I remember, it's quite funny thinking back, it would always, pretty much, it's probably about the same now, there'd be Emmerdale, then Corrie, and then EastEnders, and then there'd be some kind of, whatever, six-part drama or whatever was running, and then there'd be something else, and then there'd be like the 10 o'clock news, and then maybe something else. So, give or take, that was probably about 5 or 6 hours a day. Maybe not always actively watching it, but it was always what I've realised since is it was more of a habit than an active choice to do that. You put the TV on, it's like, oh, it's like 7 o'clock, EastEnders is coming on, or blah blah blah, and you kind of get into that habit of doing these things subconsciously. And when I got divorced, like 2014, and I just never missed the TV. I moved to a new place where there was no TV, and then I moved on, and then I lived in the Buddhist monastery for a while, and there was no TV, not even radio, and it was quite refreshing to not have that, to be out of that situation where you're constantly watching something, but you're not conscious of it. It was more like an automatic process, an addiction in a way, and that's how I see it as well. It was, I have to watch this. It's on at 7 o'clock. I have to. Oh, look what's on the TV tonight at 7. I've got to be there. But most of it was rubbish. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on TV. And interesting things, whether it was investigations, documentaries, or films, whatever it may be. Most of it was just like nonsensical stories, the typical soap operas that we get in England, and so many people watch them all the time. But on one sense, it's pretty meaningless. You're just watching stories about other people going about the day, which is kind of what we do now with a lot of people on YouTube. We follow individuals telling stories about what they do, but that's a bit more real than the dramas in the soap operas, for example. And most of it isn't really a choice. I think we watch the people we do on YouTube and the people we follow on Facebook and all the rest of it because there's something interesting about what they say that resonates with us, whereas opposed to the typical soap operas, what is it? And a lot of it, as I remember, was a kind of switch off mechanism. You've been to work, you've had whatever day you've had, you come home, you have your tea, put the telly on, and it's like, now I can relax, and watch what other people are up to. And yeah, it's just interesting how we do that kind of unconsciously. But now, look, going back to my screen time, it's like, wow, I spend 30% of my day on average interacting with the phone. So it's gone from the big screen to the little screen now. But the thing with that is that I think it's mostly, but not always, conscious. We do it. You get up in the morning, and my kind of rule, not that I do rules, but for the first hour of the day, I don't put my phone on. I get up, I have a coffee, stretch my legs, have a smoke, and just maybe read a little bit or whatever. But I consciously make that decision not to put my phone on for the first hour of the day, and then I switch it on, and then it's Facebook, Insta, Threads, YouTube, the usual, and emails and what have you. And it's only really if something catches your eye, because we scroll, see what everybody's up to, who's doing this, what are they doing, and the things, and then you're off on a tangent, and you're watching something you never even was interested in 10 minutes ago, and now it's got your attention. But it's a bit more of a conscious choice compared to TV, where we automatically do that. But yeah, still, 30% of my waking day is spent with the screen on. And a lot of that, yeah, I'll listen to something on YouTube, and that's just, it may be whatever podcast, and that's just running in the background. But still, it's got my attention, and that's quite that's quite interesting. But what's your screen time like? You know, before I shared it, I'll try and see if I can clip it into this video somewhere. But I just put it up on Facebook and Insta and what have you. Before I posted it, I was thinking, wow, that's a lot. Do I really want people to know how much I spend on my phone? And then I was thinking about everybody else. We all think this, which goes back to the whole fear thing with the little kind of poem thing that I did the other day. You know, who would you be without the fear of what other people think, without the ideas of what they might say about you? And that's kind of inspired me to start doing more videos, because it's a conscious thing. We do worry about what people are going to say, whereas in reality, nobody gives a shit, really. If you're interested, they'll watch it, maybe comment. If you're not, people just scroll on, nobody knows. But I started following Sam Stoffel. Some of you may know him. Really great guy. He used to run, it was called Profits Accumulator, and it was a matched betting website. I'll not go into matched betting, but if you know, you know. Basically, you're creaming off money from the bookmakers for free. And I made a few grand on it a few years ago, and I recognised him from that. Anyway, he sold his business, made about 50 million, and now he's sharing his story, and he's discussing things like the confidence, the ability to post and share because people are interested in that. So yeah, check out Sam Stoffel if you're into making content, because I get these ideas. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do a video about this, I'll do a video, and then it fades and you don't bother, and then I get inspired to do one, and I think I should keep this up every day. And watching people like Sam and other people, it's kind of inspiring. So we'll do it. It takes a few minutes to record a video, talk about what you talk about with other people all the time, but just sharing it with a wider audience. If people are interested, great, and if they're not, great. Nobody really cares. We just crack on with our day. Anyway, I just thought I'd share those thoughts, and yeah, if you want to share what's your screen time like, yeah, let me know. Let's see what we do.